Hey everybody, welcome back. This is episode 66, and at last it is time for our big Pokemon League rematch. Real quick, a recap of the team with their final movesets and items, or lack thereof. We have Russ the Archeops with Acrobatics, Stone Edge, Earthquake, and U-Turn. No items so that Acrobatics has full power. We have Nim the Zoroark with Night Daze, Extrasensory, Flamethrower, and Focus Blast, holding the black glasses. Asper the Sawsbuck with Return, Horn Leech, Jump Kick, and Mega Horn, holding the Silk Scarf. Flo the Seismitoad with Surf, Earthquake, Sludge Wave, and Rain Dance, holding the Mystic Water. Bassa the Emboar with Flare Blitz, Superpower, Earthquake, and Wild Charge, holding that Expert Belt. And last but certainly not least, in his Premier Ball, Ulton the Haxorus with Outrage, Superpower, Earthquake, and Dragon's Claw. And of course holding the Dragon Fang to power up his 2 dragon attacks. So we're going to do things the same order we did last time, starting with Chantal, the ghost type user. And I think I'm going to start with Russ this time because Nim will be very useful against a lot of her team. And I'm also putting Haxorus in the back because I know a few of her team, well I think, probably have some attacks that are not very effective against Haxorus, like Chandler or Jellicent. So if we can kind of trick them into using their ghost attacks, that will be not very effective against Nim. That's the strategy at least, we'll see how it works out. Yes, my codename is Looker. He sounded a bit aloof, but his partner Krogung's strategy was tricky. That's part of a novel I wrote. I absolutely love writing about the close bonds between the trainers and Pokemon that I've competed against. Could I use you and your Pokemon as a subject? I wonder if she's competed against Looker. He's a character that appears as part of like the international Pokemon Detective Agency or something in quite a few of the games. I know he was in Black and White in like the post game. Not sure if he's in Black and White 2 at all. Alright, so a full team of 6 and level 77 just like ours. This will be tough for sure. I also suspected she would start with Confagrigus, and for that reason I wanted to do as much damage as possible right off the bat. Now I'm really hoping that it doesn't burn us. Oh, but that's right, we get Mummy. Okay, that's good then, because Mummy will get rid of our ability. And unfortunately, that was a burn. I was thinking I probably should start with a special attacker, but I didn't really have too many great options, so went with Nim, and we do have the burn, but we do also have Mummy as in our abilities. They kind of sort of cancel out. It's basically like Defeatist has already kicked in, just at more health. But hey, we have 6 Pokemon left, and she only has 5, so definitely off to a good start there. And Frostlass. Frostlass is very dangerous. I think we fought one of those earlier. Now we are still pretty fast. I'm going to go ahead and try to go for a Stone Edge. The burn has halved our attack stat, but Frostlass doesn't have great defenses, so this will still be a lot of damage, and it's a knockout. Oh, that's awesome. Good job, Russ. Because otherwise Frostlass could have caused a lot of damage to our team. Still hurt by the burn, of course. And Drifblim, she seems to really like sending a Pokemon that are weak to rock attacks, so let's go for it. Now Drifblim has a lot of HP, unlike most ghost types, so this probably won't be a knockout. Was it a crit? It was a crit, okay. But keep in mind that Stone Edge is a high critical hit chance move, so even though that was a little bit lucky, that is one of the benefits to choosing Stone Edge over Rock Slide. And level 78, that could definitely help us in future battles. I believe she has 179, which is her Chandler, because normally they seem to have one Pokemon that's 2 levels higher than the others. Alright, well, Galark is not weak to any of our attacks, being a ground and ghost type, so we'll use Acrobatics. And even though we are almost at Defeatist range, we have the ability Mummy, so that's kind of cool. Galark also knows Stone Edge. How much will it do? More than enough. But Russ did a good job, tore a bunch of holes in Chantal's team. Very, very proud. Alright, I'm going to bring in Flo, and I think I'm going to use this turn to get a Rain Dance up, because I don't know, Galark might have like Thunder Punch, but it probably doesn't have any grass attacks, so I'm not sure what it's really going to do to Flo. It could maybe use Will-O-Wisp. I'm not sure if Galark can learn it or not, but even if it does, we have plenty of special attacks. And Hammer Arm, that's a lot more damage than I thought. That was a crit too. Okay, so we've each gotten 1 crit now, but not a knockout because Flo is actually pretty tanky. So now I just have to hope that our Pokemon don't have Shadow Sneak, because I was thinking that we could do good against Chandler, and is that her last one, or does she have one more? I've lost track now. So there's Chandler. She does have one more. Okay, good. Either Chandler does not have Shadow Sneak or it didn't use Shadow Sneak. It might be trying to use Energy Ball, which would be 4 times super effective and is a pretty good coverage move for a Chandler. But thankfully, she never had the chance. And lots more XP there. And Gengar, a very good choice. Gengar is very strong. And I think Gengar can learn Energy Ball. And it does have Levitate, so let's go with Surf. Gengar is more of a frail attacker, though, so this should do a lot of damage, especially in the rain with the Mystic Water. Not quite a knockout, and it doesn't have Energy Ball, but it does have Focus Blast, which is enough to knock us out. And it does hit. I think when I did my Pokemon Black Boss Battle series, I taught my Gengar Energy Ball and Alakazam... No, Alakazam can't learn Thunderbolt, right? Maybe I have that backwards. Maybe Alakazam knew Energy Ball. I don't know. Alright, well, let's bring in Nim. This should be pretty easy at this point. I like that even the Pokeball is disguise. I really want a happy ending this time. I hate endings that leave a bitter taste. I'm going to actually go for Extra Sensory, because it's still super effective. And I don't know if we're faster, actually. I was thinking we're faster, but we might not be. Because Gengar is pretty fast as well. I think it's like 110 base speed. So maybe I should have gone for Night Days, even with the mischance. Yep, okay. Gengar is faster, and unfortunately did not go for Shadow Ball, went for Sludge Bomb. Which makes sense, Sludge Bomb is the more powerful move. All else being equal. But thankfully, Nim was able to survive it and retaliate with another Extra Sensory. So good job, team. Wow, I'm stunned. For all the words I know, I can't figure out how to say this, putting my feelings into words. Something, something, something. Alright, enough words, more Pokemon battles. All the Pokemon on both sides brave so battily. Or battled so bravely, rather. Even though they got hurt, thank you. And she does not heal our team up for us, so we will have to do that part. Luckily, I brought plenty of Revives and Hyper Potions. And we do still have a few last PP restore items if we need to use them. Alright, so our next opponent is going to be Grimsley, the Dark-type user. And he tends to have... he tends to use Lipard first. So maybe Asper could be good against Lipard. Flo could be good as well. So let's put Asper first. And I'm trying to think, who would I want Nim to be disguised as against a Dark-type user? Maybe I'll stick with Alton, because the more they want to use their Dark attacks, the better. Or we could do Flo. Let's do Flo, because I know his best one is also a Steel type. And Steel would not be good against Flo, whereas Dark would be even. Because I want to trick them into using their Dark attacks against Nim since they're not very effective. That's kind of the idea there. Alright, here we go. Also, I may forget this, but if I remember, I'd like to use my Flying Gem for Iris. We have 2 left, so I think one against Iris and one against either Cynthia or Benga would be good. Life is a serious battle, and you have to use the tools you're given. It's more important to master the cards you're holding than to complain about the ones your opponents were dealt. Let us begin, and may the best trainer win. Contests like this are proof that you are really living. Alright, well let's have some good proof then. Grimsley versus Uno. And 6v6, of course, starting with a Honchkrow this time. I'm kind of glad he got rid of the Lipard, because it's just not a strong Pokemon. However, unfortunately, he's leading with Honchkrow, which is not good, because Flying is very good against Grass-type. So I'm going to expect a Flying attack. It might use U-turn, which would be bad, but either way, I think Russ is probably a good choice here. A Rock and Flying type would resist both. Aerial Ace, that's fine. That's a fairly low base damage move, only 60. Critical hit, though. That was lucky. I think Honchkrow can have the ability Super Luck, though, which like increases its crit chance. So hopefully we don't miss. Yes. And I don't really care too much if this crits or knocks. I think it'll be a knockout either way. Yes, okay. It was a crit, just in case. Honchkrow, I think, is actually bulky for a Flying type, but even so, Russ has a very high attack stat, super effective damage, stab. Alright, Scrafty, interestingly enough, is a Fighting and Dark type, so let's use Acrobatics. We should still be faster. Russ getting a lot of good action here. All right, down goes Scrafty. And we are now at 6-4. Tyranitar, a very strong dark type. I'm curious. No, Tyranitar is still 77. I guess Bisharp is still his highest level. I would not have blamed them at all, though, for giving Tyranitar a higher level. Okay, now Tyranitar is weak to a lot of things, but... okay, so it's probably going to use a Rock Attack. Let's go for U-Turn, because it's super effective. It'll do a little less than Earthquake would have. But we then get a switch. Earthquake might have been a knockout. That did a lot more damage than I thought it would. Tyranitar has a pretty good defense stat. Has a very good special defense stat in the Sandstorm, because it gives it a bonus being a rock type. But I think Flow would be a good choice, because again, Tyranitar just doesn't really have grass attacks. And will resist stone attacks or rock attacks. And we can retaliate with the super effective Surf or Earthquake. Critical hit. A lot of crits. He never thought I would use that move. Well, it wasn't really a move. So because we're in the Sandstorm, I think we're in the Sandstorm, right? I guess because nobody was damaged by it, it didn't show the animation there. I think Earthquake should probably do more damage. And I think it'll be a knockout either way, so let's just use Earthquake. Not a knockout. Oh, Focus Band, okay. So Focus Band is kind of like Focus Sash, but whereas Focus Sash will work whenever you go from 100 HP to what would have been 0. Alright, I'm kind of expecting a full restore here. But let's still go for Earthquake. I could use Rain. Maybe I should use Rain Dance, because a Rain Dance Surf against Tyranitar would not have the bonus. Yeah, maybe I should use Rain Dance, but we are faster. 2 Earthquakes should still do the trick. What was I saying there a second ago? Crits on the Stone Edge. Alright, go, we're faster. I totally forgot. Oh, I guess it's using Rain Dance instead. But anyway, it worked out. And Crocodile. So this could be another good matchup for us if we're faster, but I feel like Crocodile is probably faster here. So I definitely should have used that Rain Dance last time. Hopefully it doesn't affect us. And you can see the weather is currently in Sandstorm mode. Crocodile is faster. It is locked into Outrage. But I don't know how much that really helps us because we don't have any Steel types. So none of our Pokemon are really going to resist an Outrage attack. I think our best decision here... Asper is fairly fast. Let's bring in Asper and see what we can do with a super effective Horn Leech. Because Outrage is a powerful attack, but it doesn't get Stab. We can also use Mega Horn and High Jump Kick, which are very effective, but I think Horn Leech, it only do slightly less, and it has better accuracy than those two moves do. Can we survive Outrage? We can, and Crocodile is hurt due to fatigue. And the last wave of Pokemon out that is not effective, but is not immune to the Sandstorm. I think Sandstorm, when Tyranitar summons it, or a Pokemon with Sandstream, lasts indefinitely. In this gen, I feel like in later gens it only lasts 5 turns, but it might have been a change at some point. Houndoom, a very cool Pokemon, and one that's good against grass types. I wonder, are we faster? You know what? I don't think we are. I think Houndoom is pretty fast, and I don't really want to... I don't really want to let Asper faint because our return will lose its power if we lose happiness. So let's bring in Houndoom. Sludge Bomb. Was not expecting that, but I guess it is super effective against grass type, so a respectable move. I was thinking either a fire or dark type, both of which Vasa would have resisted. Do I go for Earth Power or Super Power? Sorry, Earthquake or Super Power? Let's go for Earthquake. I feel like Houndoom doesn't have the best defenses, so hopefully this is not a mistake. But if it knocks it out, we might have a chance to attack his next Pokemon. It is a knockout. Good, I guessed right. Good job, Vasa. And we kept Asper alive to fight another day. And I think Bisharp might be his last one now. Those who give up on themselves can never claim victory. Alright. So if we can get off a superpower... Oh, I was talking about Focus Band. That's what it was. So Focus Sash, if you're at 100 and go to what would have been 0, it will always save you with 1 HP. Focus Band is kind of like that, but you don't have to be at 100 for it to activate. However, it only activates 1 in 10 times. Alright, let's bring out... You know, we haven't used Ulton in a bit. Let's bring out Ulton. So you don't see as much use out of Focus Band, but I think it came out before Focus Sash did, so it's an interesting item. We also have Super Power, which should be 4 times super effective, and we are faster than Bisharp. Its Quick Claw did not trigger that time. Quick Claw is a item rather that lets you move first. I can't remember how often it triggers, 1 in 10 times or 20, 30%, but it's not a ton of the time. Alright, and just like that, we have won a second battle and received a little more XP, which is good because we're going to need all we can get against the champion. Grimsley has a lot of questions. I'm not trying to help him with those. Wouldn't mind like a Pokemon tutoring session to help people with like movesets and all, but not today. A flipped coin doesn't always land on heads or tails. Sometimes it may never land at all. Very wise words, Grimsley. Very wise indeed. Alright, we are halfway through the Pokemon League. 2 victories so far. That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and use some revives. Alright, and... Now, she does have a Metagross, which could be a bit of a challenge here. I think what I'm going to do, and this might seem kind of silly, but I'm actually going to put Nim at the back of the party this time, because I feel like it's just... I don't feel good when I win because the AI is just like that dumb where it attacks me with Psychic Attacks many times. Once is fine, but not that many times. I have no idea who she's going to lead with, so... I kind of don't want to use Asper, though. Let's start with Flow this time. Just because I don't want Asper to faint. Because again, we'll lose power on return. And I want to keep Asper as healthy as possible for the final fight. And we may or may not end up using return, but there's a good chance, because Iris is a dragon user, so... It seems likely we'd be using our main stab attack that's not grass type. It's me who appear when the flower opened up. You who have been waiting, you look like a Pokemon trainer with refined strength and deepened kindness. What I look for in my opponent is superb strength. Please unleash your power to the fullest. I will do my best, and I hope you do the same. Even though she's still a little sleepy. It's funny, she's just waking up, and after this I'll probably go to bed. Musharna, okay, so her usual lead then. So she might use the whole sleep thing, which is going to be really annoying if she does. I almost wouldn't mind using them against that, because I hate sleep so much. I wish I had a Pokemon with Insomnia. Sludge Wave only has a 10% poison chance, so I don't really want to rely on that. Let's go for Surf. I'm not sure there really is a good move here. The good move might have been like starting with Haxorus and using Outrage to take Musharna out in one hit. Alright, we did avoid the attack, which is nice. However, if we switch, the Pokemon we switch in will probably get put to sleep, so... I think what I'll probably do is just keep attacking until we get put to sleep, and then maybe switch at that point. I thought we might have got lucky twice in a row there. With 60% accuracy, it is not the most accurate move, but can't get lucky forever. Alright, let's switch in... Let's switch in Rust, because I'm pretty sure she's going to use Dream Eater this time. Which is actually not a good moveset for the AI, because I feel like most players would just spam full heals or Awakenings or something. Full Restore, okay. Didn't expect that. Didn't quite think she was in full Restore range, but clearly she was. Alright, I was going to use U-Turn. Alright, I don't want Rust to be put to sleep. And I'm not sure Acrobatics would knock out Musharna. It probably would, but it might be close. So let's use a U-turn. And I'm going to bring Flo back in, because I think she's going to use Hypnosis again. And I can kind of outsmart Caitlyn here. I don't mind exploiting the AI a little bit this way. Because if she's going to try to use the Hypnosis Dream Meter combo, that's already a very risky strategy. Alright, well, kind of ended up in the same place I thought we would be at, but we ended up making her use a full restore, so that's cool. Alright, now I do need to choose my next Pokemon. I think I'm going to bring out Flo, actually, because Flo's already asleep, so that means she's probably the least useful for the rest of this, and I'm pretty sure about to take a Grass Blade. Can I use that to my advantage? I can. I can as long as Asper is faster than Gallade. But this Gallade is not EV trained, like the other ones we've been facing in the World Tournament. So I'm going to play this really risky, hope we're not going to take a fighting attack, because I'm going to feel really bad if I switch Asper into a fighting attack. Or if Glade is faster. But yeah, I was thinking it would be a Leaf Blade, and then I figured I would use that and use Sap Sipper to my advantage to increase my attack stats. So that's awesome. In that way, Seismitoad and Sawsbuck are a really good combination. So good job, Flo and Asper. Now, I don't think this would have been a knockout without the attack boost, but with the attack boost and the Silk Scarf, that is indeed a knockout. Go my little deer Pokemon. And Flo at level 78. Okay, Alakazam. So I think Alakazam can learn Energy Ball. I feel like mine had it. And I'm, well, But Alakazam is not here to use Energy Ball. Alakazam is here to use Focus Blast, I'm pretty sure. And I wish I had a Ghost type, but I don't. In fact, my only Flying type is also a Rock type, so there's not really a lot I can do against Focus Blast. Yeah, I really have no fighting resistances on the team, actually. I don't have any Psychic Pokemon either, so let's keep Asper alive for a bit. We'll bring in Flo. Flo can probably tank the Focus Blast pretty well. It also might miss, or Alakazam might use something else. Oh, it missed. Okay, that's cool. Alright, we're slower for sure than Alakazam. Alakazam is very fast. So I'm going to really hope we wake up this turn. And we should survive Psychic. It did not have Energy Ball, but yeah, we did not wake up. So that's just bad luck. You know, I'm not sure the AI... It tends to use moves that... Oh, yes, that's lucky. It tends to use any move that might knock out your Pokemon, even if it's one that might miss, like Focus Blast. So I was thinking by switching to Nim, I would resist the Psychic that I thought was coming. But if it did something like that, then that could have been a bad switch. So unfortunately, we got like the max turns of sleep. That is very unlucky. So sorry, Flo, but I guess Caitlyn isn't the only one who's tired. Unfortunately, Flo has been knocked out. So let's see, who should we bring in next? So Alakazam is very strong. Asper's weak to Focus Blast, as is Nim. Boss is weak to Psychic. So either Russ or Ulton. I think we should bring out... Who has the higher attack stat? 12, okay. Let's bring in Ulton. Should be a good match against Alakazam. And I'm worried about Metagross. So I want to keep some strong attacks for Metagross. And I'm going to be a little bit risky here because I don't want to be locked into Outrage in case Metagross comes out. So let's use Dragon Claw, which I think should be enough against Alakazam because it's not a good Pokemon defensively. It's much more of a Glass Cannon. And I think its defense is lower than its special defense too. So yeah, with our high attack stat and our Dragon Fang held item, that's a lot of damage. And Asper's level 78, that's awesome. That's good too, because every level you gain increases friendliness, so even if it wasn't max before, it is now. Alright, Ranculus. Now Ranculus is more defensive, I think, so I think we're going to have to use Outrage, which is really unfortunate. I kind of wish she had brought in Metagross there, because we might have been faster and might be able to get off a really good Earthquake, but we will take what we can get. Ranculus is knocked out. It is slow, but also a very powerful attacker, and 5,000 XP, that's awesome. And there is Metagross, as anticipated. Her highest level Pokemon, and it knows Bullet Punch anyway, so it probably didn't matter too much that we were locked into Outrage. Oh, it has Life Orb. Interesting. Okay. So now the question is going to be, who do I bring in? I think I should bring in Vasa. Now, this could be risky, because if we're slower, an Earthquake could do a ton of damage to us. Might even be a knockout with Metagross' super high attack stat. But if we're faster, and we are, yes, that's awesome. I wasn't sure, because Metagross is base 70, and I think we're about the same. And we're 2 levels lower. That's going to be a lot of damage. Metagross is a high defense stat, but we have the Expert Belt, we have 120 base power, Stab. Bass is a strong Pokemon, so... And 6,500 XP, nice. Alright, Gothitelle, unfortunately, is super effective against Bassa, so... Let's go ahead and just switch into Nim. I think Gothitelle's probably going to use a Psychic attack Seems like a very safe bet. I don't think any of our other attacks would knock out Bassa from that health range. And that way we can keep Bassa alive. And Night Days will be super effective. Not a miss, thankfully. Not sure if Gothitelle can learn Focus Blast or not, but it might be able to. And down goes Gothitelle. So a tough battle. A good fight. Knocked out a few of our team, but we still prevailed. As impressive as always. To have been able to battle against such a splendid team, my Pokemon and I learned so much, I offer you my thanks. Please battle me again sometime. I might. Either to train up for our final few battles, or maybe just for fun off screen. The reason I came here in the first place was to encounter trainers like you. That's where she came from Sinnoh, I think. Or from Johto, depending on where you face her in the Battle Frontier. Once again, it is time to use some revives. I think we're still doing good on power points. I'll probably check before the champion fight. Because really, I don't see any other time we would use like ethers and elixirs. Alright, we're against a fighting type user now. Let's see. Let's do fighting versus fighting. I feel like that could be fun, and we could definitely use some more XP against Bassa. And I'd like to do... See, I wish I had like a ghost type right now, because I'd love to disguise Nim as a Pokemon that would resist fighting attacks. But I don't really know what that would be. Maybe I'll bring in Russ, who's weak to... or disguise Nim as Russ, since Russ is weak to rock attacks. And a lot of fighting Pokemon can learn rock attacks for coverage. I don't know. Probably overthinking this, but you can never try too hard in one of these really tough fights. And I really love that there is a Pokemon League rematch in this game, because not all games have that. Alright, time for a cage match by the looks of it. But where's my opponent? There he is. Ah, Blinding Lights. I thank you deeply for the chance for another round of combat against you. In myself, I seek to develop the strength of a fighter, and shatter any weakness in myself, prevailing with the force of my convictions. Victory, decisive victory is my intention. Challenger, here I come. Alright, Marshall, bring it on. This will be interesting, because like our team is not super strong against fighting types. We have a few who are weak to fighting, and only one that's strong against it, and the one that's strong against it, which is Russ our Archeops, does not resist fighting attacks. So this could be tough, but also I feel like he has a lot of Pokemon that are pure fighting types, so that might make it a little easier. I don't know. But Throw is definitely a very bulky Pokemon, and we have, excuse me, nothing super effective against it, so let's go for Flare Blitz for max damage. A critical hit! Alright, good job Bassa, off to a good start. Don't feel too bad about getting lucky there, because the other Elite Four members definitely got some lucky crits against us as well. And he's going right for his strongest Pokemon, Conkeldurr. Which I feel like is going to use Earthquake. Do I risk this switching? What else would it use? It wouldn't use Stone Edge, right? I mean, it could use a fighting attack. It doesn't know any psychic moves, I'm pretty sure. What else are we weak to? Flying? It probably doesn't know any flying moves. I'm going to be... This could just be so risky, though. If it wasn't Russ... Yeah, I think I want to save Russ just because... because Russ is our... Sorry, I'm thinking of different options here. Alright, let's go for it. Russ is sort of our ace in the hole against a fighting type, so I don't want to switch in and be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's going to use Earthquake. And I don't think we can survive it after this recoil damage, but I also don't think we could have survived it if we'd used Superpower. And some little recess in my brain is telling me this Conkeldurr might have a Life Orb. But, let's see. No, it has a Flame Orb. That makes sense, because it has the ability Guts, which will power it up to insane levels. Which means we need a fairly fast Pokemon to come in and take it out, or let's bring in Flow. Because I feel like Conkeldurr is pretty slow, and while it does have Mach Punch, I assume... Oh, strong as usual, that makes my heart dance. I'm pretty sure Flow can take a Mach Punch even with his Guts ability triggered. Guts is an ability that increases your attack stat by, I think, 50% whenever you have a status condition, and it also makes you immune to the attack drop that comes with a burn. But it didn't really matter for him, so... Me and Xiao, I don't think, can learn any grass attacks. Oh, it could learn Grass Knot. Do I think it's going to use Grass Knot? At some point, I have to stay in and risk it, so let's do that. Let's use Rain Dance. U-turn, interesting, okay. I know me and Xiao is pretty fast 'cause I trained one back in my very first Pokemon Black. No, in my Pokemon Black 2 boss battle series. Or White 2 boss battle series, I think is when I trained it. Switching into a Sock, so a pretty similar team to last time, honestly. Haven't really seen his one new Pokemon yet. It does seem like he kept all the old ones. Although we've only seen 4 so far. Can't remember who his 5th was. Close combat will be a lot of damage. Can Flo survive? She can. Good job. And thankfully, Sock's Sturdy is no longer active. Yeah, expecting a special full restore there, rather. But that's okay. Now, it does waste 1 turn of our Rain, unfortunately. But we still have a few turns left. Hopefully, Sock does not know Mach Punch. I don't think it can learn Mach Punch. Let's just keep using Surf, because I'll probably use an Ether on Surf after this. Although I don't know what Pokemon Iris has, because most of them will not take very effective damage from Surf, being Dragon types. Alright, me and Xiao is back. I might know, like, Fake Out or something. But if it did, it didn't use it, so... And thanks to that Rain Dance, we are faster. So even though Flo is not the strongest in normal weather conditions... And another crit! We have gotten very lucky in some of these crits, I'll say that. Not that it really mattered in the long run. But under Rain, Flo is actually pretty strong. And I think faster than Machamp. Yeah, I was going to guess he had a Machamp, because that seems like a good fighting type. But yet again, a single-type Pokemon. Not sure who I would give him, though. Maybe a Medicham would be a good one with, like, huge power. Alright, so I want to see right now, I'm going to be kind of playing some 4D chess here. Are any of our Pokemon... Boss has fainted. Close to leveling up for the next one. It looks like of the ones we have left, yeah, just Russ, which is probably good anyway, because we are a flying type, and Russ is arguably our strongest Pokemon. Either Russ or Ulton, I would say. So this could be good, because hopefully we'll get enough XP now to get to level 79. Lucario, that's another good choice. Didn't think of Lucario. I may only have 1 Pokemon remaining, but its strength knows no limits. Alright, now Lucario is weak to Earthquake. Acrobatics is evenly effective, so Earthquake should do more damage, yes. Lucario is also a very strong attacker and special attacker, actually, which is sort of rare for a fighting type, but it, again, does not have the best defenses. And Russ is very strong, so sorry, Lucario. Also one of my probably top 20 favorite Pokemon, at least. And just like that, Marshall is defeated. That is why I respect you, blah, 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 okay. The strength shown by you and your Pokemon has deeply impressed me. Please continue to the next room to face the strongest trainer of the Unova region. Alright, you guys ready for this? This will be a tough one for sure. And even though our Pokemon gained a few levels during that challenge, I think our Pokemon start at level 79 or maybe even at 80. So our strongest is like 81 or 82 or 83 even. I'm not sure, but they're going to be very strong. So I'll definitely heal up our team. I will try to remember to give Russ the Flying Gem, which we might need. And I'll use some PP Restore items as well. And when we come back, it will be time for our toughest fight yet. Our rematch against the champion of Unova, Iris. So that will definitely be exciting. As always, thank you guys very much for watching. Keep being awesome, and I'll see you again soon.